Story 1. Stop smoking and drinking earlier. Take better care of your teeth and gums. Take better care of yourself in terms of stress, whether it is a bad marriage, a bad job, or both. Get a regular physical every year and do not lie to your doctor about anything, no matter how embarrassing. Story 2. Wearing ear protection, even just using those squishable disposable foam ones, in any situation where sound levels get over about 90 decibels, would go a long way to preventing the tinnitus which is now my constant companion, especially damaging our pulse stimuli such as gunshots, hammer pounding, and when the toilet seat drops down and bangs the rim, because the tensor tympani muscle can't work as effectively to deaden the energy transmitted to the cochlea or inner ear for those noises. Story 3. Flexibility is a great way to prevent serious injury, and you lose flexibility as you age. Try doing a simple yoga routine on YouTube 1 to 2 times a week to start. Story 4 can be summed up with these 5 points. Invest because of the power of compound interest. Put energy into maintaining relationships with your significant other, kids, parents, friends, and social group at large. Eat lots of fruits and vegetables. Drink water, tea, or coffee rather than sweetened beverages. Maintain a healthy weight through diet. Practice good hygiene. Sleep hygiene, dental hygiene, skin and sun hygiene, and medication and self-care. Be active and do not stop. Cardio, weights, yoga, try to do all of them or just do what you enjoy. The key is to keep moving and not become sedentary. People can argue over what activity is best, but the best is really whatever makes you happy. Story 5. Physician here. I take care of a lot of elderly gentlemen. Wear a seat belt. Do not text and drive. Do not drink and drive. Do not smoke, dip, vape, or use any other tobacco products. Drink alcohol in moderation. No vinje drinken. Have a pet. Have a social network. Eat less, fast, and avoid sweets and sugar. Meditate and practice mindfulness. Get enough sleep, at least 8 hours or more per night. Practice sleep hygiene. Get tested for sleep apnea. Keep your bowels regular. For example, an apple a day, yogurt, or psyllium husk. At least 1 bowel movement per day. If you have more than 3 bowel movements per day, figure out what you are doing. Lactose intolerance is very common. 10. See a doctor yearly. Take your medications. Tell them everything. 11. Do not use intravenous drugs. 12. Make a will and assign a power of attorney and healthcare power of attorney. 13. Invest, find a good accountant. Plan for the future financially. 14. Practice yoga, stretching, and exercise regularly. 15. Continue to read and learn. 16. Find a hobby. 17. Take care of your teeth. Floss, brush, and see a dentist or dental hygienist. 18. Get your eyes checked regularly. 19. Take time for yourself. Take care of your mental health. 20. Spend quality time with your parents or elders. You never know when they will leave you. Story 6. Asked my dad, and he said he hated having a beard and just had a mustache. He didn't see a reason for having a beard, as he has a strong chin. However, he went to the barber once in his late 40s and was told that if he kept a trim beard, he'd look 15 years younger. He did, and the dude looks 5 years older than me. He's 55. Story 7. Weight lifting and diet. I wish I would have gotten into it in my 20s or earlier. I was into it in my 30s and got lazy. I was still in decent shape in my 40s. Then got married a second time and ballooned to 265. Then, I got serious again. Now I am 63 down to 212, deadlifting, bench press, etc. Lifting heavy and eating right. Story 8. I'm 54. I started lifting weights when I was 45. I am the strongest I have ever been in my life. I am losing fat and building muscle. I wish I had been into it a lot earlier. Also, I wish I had the shoulder mobility I had as a youth. It would likely help my golf swing. I didn't pay attention to it, unfortunately. Story 9. Just walk. Forget the 10,000 steps goal. Don't even worry about exercising, though you should. 5,000 steps is not that much, and it's astounding how many people don't even reach that. Being somewhat active versus not at all is much more important than actually getting yourself to the gym. Just walk. Get one of those cheap fitness watches that really doesn't do anything but tell time, count steps, and remind you when you've been sedentary too long. I don't care how many miles you go or calories you burn. Feel the reminder and go walk around the block. Story 10. Only 41, but fellows, moisturize your face after every shower. Use the good stuff that the ladies use, and you will look younger. Clean your teeth and see a dentist at least once a year. You must exercise and keep moving. Story 11. Yo guys, be real with me for a second. I'm 21 now, almost 22, and I'm quite overweight too. I haven't exercised in a long time. I've had a gym subscription for about 9 months, and I've only been to it once during those months. I'm losing money by not going. I've been making excuses because I have to walk there, saying it's too cold, and I'll go on the weekends, but I never end up doing so. There are times when I'm really tired, and I think to myself, I'm 21. I shouldn't be this tired, or I shouldn't be out of breath just walking up a hill. I've also been concerned recently. I feel like I need to look after my physical health, but I just don't know where to start. Sometimes I think it's a self-confidence thing. I sometimes want to go out running in this big open park next to my apartment, but I feel embarrassed when people look at me. I'm not doing my body any favors, and I need to treat it right if I want to continue living the lifestyle I want and in order to just live longer. I worry that with the rate I'm going, by the time I hit 30, I will be so overweight. I feel that I would be lucky if I have kids one day with my partner, and I don't want my kids to see me like this. Story 12. Flossing. Man, oh man, I do it religiously now after having a bad bout of gingivitis in my teens to my early 20s. If the bleeding gums aren't one thing, it's the stinky breath. Edit. Also, investing. Story 13. Eating healthy and exercising regularly. I started mountain bike riding a few years ago, and am currently trying to fix my relationship with food. I'm 6 feet 1 inch and went from just under 250 pounds to just over 200 pounds. My goal is to be 190 pounds dressed. I manage a lot of 25 to 35-year-olds and tell them to do all they can to live a healthy lifestyle now because in the not-so-distant future it will really matter. It isn't really about lengthening your life but making the length of your life good. Story 14. I wished I had stopped drinking and smoking tobacco before I started. You'll probably see many responses below me clinging to their addiction, but alcohol can and will destroy your life. It is toxic. And cigarettes, of course, they are. I also wished I had picked up a more solid meditation and yoga practice when I was in high school and needed it most. Story 15. Go to the doctor anytime you need to, and don't be embarrassed to talk about anything that's bothering you. Your doctor's job is to help you, not judge you. There is no shame in being sick, physically or mentally, and there is nothing strong or manly about not getting treatment for your problems. Story 16. I am 59 years old. I take no medications and I weigh 7 pounds more than I did in high school. Change your diet. Include vegetables with every meal and minimize meat consumption. Eat only whole grain bread. Eat beans every day, ideally with every meal. Add shredded cabbage to every salad. Avoid sugar. Walk a lot, take the stairs, and park at the outskirts of the parking lot. Reduce stress by expecting every person you interact with to be difficult and every other driver to be a problem. This way, you will be less likely to become angry. Tell everyone you care about that you love them every time you see them. Hug. Story 17. Not a man 50 plus here, but there are things I wished my father started to do earlier in life. For example, apply sunscreen whenever working under the sun. Moderate his consumption of alcoholic beverages and processed foods, especially things like cheese and mayo. Drink more water. Not juice, not coffee, not soda, water. It is good for overall health and also for your looks. Mostly do stuff that, in the long run, will help with his health the older he gets. But the old man is as stubborn as I am. Story 18. Going to a counselor for anxiety. Granted, I didn't know I had anxiety. I thought everyone worried as much as I did. I guess I could point the finger at my parents because it was more than a little bit obvious by first grade that it was more than, oh, he's just a little nervous. Story 19. I'm only 34, so this makes it far worse. Watch your sodium intake. I am finally getting my blood pressure under control. High blood pressure was at least one of the factors in my treatment-resistant anxiety. Story 20. Sunscreen, wearing sunglasses, working out, not smoking, not drinking as much, eating right, and so on. Basically, all the self-care habits. I have sun-damaged spots on my cheek from years of not wearing sunscreen or sunglasses. I'm a couple of years away from 50, but I wish I had started taking care of myself earlier. It's never too late, though. Story 21. Honestly, I wish I had not played high school football and making new male friends in my 30s and 40s. I was so busy raising a family and working that I neglected to maintain an inner circle of friends, and it shows. Story 22. American here. When I was in my 30s, I was riding the city bus a lot, and I decided to use that year to learn about personal finance. I read the financial section of the newspaper, even though I didn't understand it, and I bought a book called Get a Financial Life by Beth Kobliner. By the time that year was over, I learned 3 non-negotiable things: save and invest, save and invest, save and invest. Young people tend to believe their incomes will only climb, and there will be plenty of time for saving money later. The fact is, if you save a couple of $100s per month starting in your 20s, you will have more money than if you save $5,000 a month in your 50s. Set aside 10% of your income, no matter how much you're earning, just for retirement. Throw it into a low-fee individual retirement account index fund at Fidelity or Vanguard, and never break the habit and never withdraw it. Start a health savings account. Make sure you are contributing the maximum to your company's 401k if they have one, and if they do, make sure you are getting the maximum match possible. Do all of this even if it means that your standard of living today does not increase. Ally Bank, TwineApp by John Hancock, and SmartyPig are all good options for automating saving money online. People think Social Security will provide all the money you need when you're old. It won't, not even close. And if the Republicans are successful in consistently controlling the government, they will eventually wipe out Social Security, guaranteeing that the oldest and weakest Americans will face the end of their lives in poverty. It's very sad, but until things change drastically, no one should expect America to care for them when they're old. Start saving now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Story 23. Doing my haircuts myself with my wife. Whenever I go to the barber, their haircuts are all right at best, but usually they are weird in 1 or 2 areas. Last time, I had my wife make me a ponytail with nice lines on both sides and the back and cut everything short below the lines, and it looked pretty good. I would go to the barber about twice a year. Now my wife just ties the longer top hair in a ponytail and does the sides and back every 2 months or so, or whenever she thinks the sides and back are getting too long. Story 24. Rinsing my ears out with hydrogen peroxide daily, right before I shower. It has gotten rid of all my ear infections and drastically reduced the number of colds to only a couple in 5 years. Story 25. I completely agree with other commenters. I had no healthcare insurance and didn't go to a doctor for maybe 6 years. Then I got some corporate health insurance and quickly found I have blood marrow cancer and am diabetic. I could have gotten ahead of the curve in that and created a much longer data series on the cancer stuff. Story 26. I wish that I had worn custom inserts in my shoes since I was 20-ish. I also encourage you gentlemen to not be afraid to spend over $100 on good shoes. Buy the type you can resole. Shoes with leather uppers. A good shoe repair shop can resole and polish your shoes. They'll look brand new. Story 27. I'm pushing 50, and I wish that I had taken better care of my teeth. I'm not hiding my smile or anything, but it starts to sink in around 40 that the teeth you've got right now aren't going to last forever. And it's really been up to you all along whether or not you're going to lose them by 60 or 90. Floss every day. Story 28. More about attitude and maybe lifestyle than health. 1. Get sleep, and that may mean naps unless you're okay with crashing before 9 p.m. Stress kills. At my most stressful, after having a kid at 40 and buying a house, I started having panic attacks, acid reflux, ate poorly, slept poorly, and so on. Of course, jobs and spouses can be stress multipliers, or if you're lucky, sources of comfort. Choose wisely and don't stay in toxic places. Don't be afraid to make changes. Get the negative people out of your life. Don't become more judgmental as you get older or think you're much wiser because you hit a certain age. As a Generation Xer who just turned 50, I fully understand the okay boomer movement because they were our parents, so we've already heard all that when you're older you'll know better nonsense. They don't. Most adults are faking competence and wisdom. When they pick on kids, their opinions, and their culture, it's just because they're old and resentful. From Joan Didion, I think we are well advised to keep on nodding terms with the people we used to be, whether we find them attractive company or not. Otherwise, they turn up unannounced and surprise us, come hammering on the mind's door at 4 a.m. of a bad night and demand to know who deserted them, who betrayed them, who is going to make amends. We forget all too soon the things we thought we could never forget. We forget the loves and the betrayals alike, forget what we whispered and what we screamed, forget who we were. Story 29. Endurance racing. I started doing triathlons as a distraction from a rough spot in life. I lost 50 pounds. I can move better than I did 10 years ago, and I barely drink anymore. I joined a triathlon team, and now I have several good friends younger than 40 from varied and interesting walks of life. Story 30. Not 50 years old, but I've worked decently hard on self-care these past 5 years, and it's been great. Eat better. I try to stick to a breakfast and lunch habit and then allow myself to have whatever I want for dinner. I typically have a salad, an apple, a quarter cup of nuts and seeds, and some low-calorie protein during the day, like peanut butter on crisp bread or a hard-boiled egg. Moisturizer. I've mentioned it a couple of times, but CeraVe AM Facial Moisturizing Lotion has 30 SPF and is great. I also wear Clinique Men's Bronzer rather than catching a tan in the summer. It's better for you, and no one notices that it's bronzer. Stick to a routine. I found that having a consistent daily routine has really helped me manage stress. Be active. I've never enjoyed working out or exercise, but I've found a lot of joy in walking and biking everywhere I go. I live in a central, urban area, so this is possible for me. This, combined with my diet, has allowed me to maintain my physique and has kept me in good health.